This is my understanding for the reasons why risk management clauses are very important in a contract. I will be taking you through why is it beneficial to both the parties and the reasoning why I feel that it is very important. These clauses are agreed at the start of the contract to ensure that certain circumstances, if occurred, would not cause the party who is not negligent to incur the cost. These clauses are designed in the context of events which disrupt the delivery of the contract terms by either party, which are beyond their control. By agreeing to them at the beginning of the contract, both parties have benefit to it. In the context of the case which we were provided, for example, if there's reputational damage for the supplier for misusing, if they're misusing labor to generate more production and they're not paying them well enough, that there is a reputational damage. And if the media gets to know that they're exploiting labor to generate more production, it can really give a lot of bad reputational damage to the supplier. Now, since the purchaser, the grocery store, is buying from the supplier, they are also in somehow in the picture of getting the reputational damage because the media is going to question them why they are having such businesses or such agreements with the party who are not really applying with the labor laws. So, with this, there's a high chance that the grocery store would also incur some reputational damage and therefore incur reduced sales. And since the grocery store has no relation to the corporate culture of what's happening at the supplier's place, they can place a clause in their contract agreement saying that if there's any negligence of not following the any of the labor laws or any other laws that are applicable for the business, and they are incurring a loss as a consequence of them not following, that is that the grocery store is incurring a cost just because the supply is not following, they should be compensated for the cost that they are incurring in that event, since they are not liable for this. So in this case, it is a risk which the grocery store is facing, and this risk is now managed through the clause that they would be compensated. Now, on the other hand, it can be also beneficial for the supplier. The supplier could state such a clause in the contract which can help them reduce their risk. One of the risks with fresh vegetables is that it is very perishable. If not sold within a week or two, it would be spoiled and would therefore need to be thrown away. And somebody has to incur cost. Eventually, either the grocery store or the supplier. Now, in this instance, the supplier could state in the contract that if you have unsold vegetables for some reason, either the competitors are providing a better price as compared to your grocery store, and for that reason your vegetables are not sold, you do not have to give it back to us, or you do not have to assume that we've given you or credit note for those goods just because you have not managed to sell. Once we make a sale to you, that's our final sale, and there's no selling back just because it's your business's fault, or maybe it's your business's downturn, the reason why you're not incurring sales. Such events which grocery store could be facing, where they could not be selling their items, would be whereby competitors are providing better discounted prices, or maybe there's a new entrant in the market who is giving very good deals and offers, and for that reason the goods are not being sold on time. So for that reason, there could be such a clause which is a risk to the supplier if it was not placed on time. Now, the second part of the question which I'll be answering is regarding force majeure, and how is it going to be beneficial to the supplier, which is Vegetable Greenhouse Corporation. Force majeure is mostly a contract clause that is very beneficial to the supplier, and it implies that in the event that is out of control for the supplier, whereby they're not able to meet the contract terms, such as they're not able to deliver on time or deliver at the optimal quality or quantity, they would not be held liable because there are circumstances which they are not reasonably under control for, and for that reason, there is a disruption in their supply. Such clauses could include events such as war. Recently, when there was a Ukraine war, many contracts were safe from the suppliers, and because they had this clause, if they didn't have it because of the supply chain disruption, they would have been in really big trouble and big financial losses from the purchaser. So these such clauses whereby the events that are which are not under your control, for that reason you're not able to meet your contract terms, such as the supplier is not able to deliver on time. These contract terms highlights those events which will protect the suppliers, such as war incurring, or let's say a huge snowstorm or something as such, which is literally making them not incur the normal delivery terms, and protects them from that, and ensures that they're not sued for not fulfilling their term during that period. So the main thing is to highlight the events which protects the supplier from understanding that why they're not able to deliver on time. That could be war, snowstorm, or haphazardness, or earthquakes, or something as such. So as force majeure is for supplier, the purchaser could have another contract clause which is called indemnity clause. This clause is meant to protect the purchaser, whereby indemnity clause is a clause which will protect the purchaser in the event that the quality of the goods supplied is not optimal and is causing the purchaser to incur lawsuit from their customers, or maybe some type of a damage, such that when vegetables are delivered and if they have a bug in it, or if they're not of the right quality, or if eaten by the customers, it's making them fall sick or something as such, or if it has a bug which accidentally was eaten by somebody, now they want to sue the purchaser. At least the purchasers would, through this clause, pass on that risk to the supplier, because they are not in any way control over what type of production is happening and what's the condition of the production. So therefore, through such clauses, it will protect the purchaser from cost being incurred which are beyond their control. So therefore, this clause is also crucial for the purchaser.